time I was, this is years ago when I tried to stop drinking, and I think I had been off for like a week. I hadn't had a drink in like a week. And then I meet up with this girl, we go to a bar, and I was like, I need something to take the edge off. So I smoked right before we went to this open mic. And I was just all pissed and vinegar, like I'm about to go smoke this mic. We get to the thing, there's a guy up there just eating balls. He's just bombing his ass
Ew,
right
bro,
now.
he's eating balls on stage.
He does little baby nuts. And I actually, this is the one and only time I've done this, where I whispered in her ear, I was like, oh God, look at that guy. That's tragic.
And then you went up and did the same thing.
I went up and I laid the worst egg ever. As soon as I got up on stage, I forgot every joke I had ever thought of in my entire life, right? And it was to the point where I couldn't even like save it with like the ooh, hey. I was just so goofy at the time that I had nothing going on. And towards the end of like my 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, I remembered one of my jokes, but I remembered it backwards.
Oh God.
And I told like the punchline first and then try to explain
the punchline. Like, that's why it's funny.
To this day, it hurts my stomach to think about it, because she was just like, this is the first day I'm out with this girl.
Oh God, that's similar with mine.
Oh my God, she put a padlock on the panties mighty fast. It didn't work out.
Yeah, but look at us, we're still 5.5 years.
Mike, now you straight from the south side. Mike, now you. I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real Rap Podcast.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back with another episode of the Real Rap Podcast. Wait, what happened?
Sorry, no, do it again. I was like, did he say it was too hot?
No, we're rolling with this
my
one.
bad.
It's hot.
No.
We're coming in.
Oh.
We're back with another episode of the Real Rap Podcast, episode 15. Very special guest today. To my left, we have Dr. Jackie Linn. Go ahead and say hi to the people.
Hey, everybody. My mic's off.
If you wouldn't mind letting the people know, Dr. Jackie, what you got going on, how long you been in the city, your name, and what you got going on out here.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm Dr. Jackie Linn.
Mm-hmm.
I just moved to Chicago in June last year, so I'm coming up to a year soon.
Okay.
And I've been producing with my co-producer, who is also Jackie.
One half of the Big Break comedy show, yes?
Yeah.
At the Holiday
Club.
At the Holiday Club, yes.
Yeah. What you doing? Chilling at the Holiday Club.
At the Holiday. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we run a show called Big Break Comedy. It's free Thursdays. It's every other Thursday right now.
I've had the pleasure of being booked on there a couple of times. It is a blast. You guys, and usually you have it packed out. Is that just serendipity? Is that just happenstance, or is there some marketing genius behind that?
I think it's been luck so far.
So far, I
Yeah.
mean, word of mouth, putting on a hell of a show, and people just keep showing up. Location.
And I stay on Facebook all the time, so I'm like, whenever someone on Facebook is like, "What can I do this week?" and I'm like, plugging Big Break, and I go up to the people at the restaurant part of the bar, and I'm always like, "Hey guys, there's a free show back there."
Yeah. You use your Sesame Street voice when you do it?
No, I don't mean to bug you guys trying to get drunk, but there's free comedy back here. It's fun.
Hell yeah. But I think you also, I've seen you've produced definitely at least one other show that I'm thinking about that went over to Zanies, no?
Oh yeah, it was just one show. Yeah, I produced a fundraiser show. That was like the first show I've ever produced.
Okay.
It was a fundraiser show for the Filipino Nurses Association of America. And it was all
that is amazing.
All Filipino lineup. I think it was the first time ever done at Zanies, actually, like an all Filipino lineup. So
has to be.
I was surprised to even find that many Filipinos out here.
All doing comedy.
Yeah. Well, I flew out my headliner, J.R. De Guzman. Shout out
to J.R. De Guzman.
He's great. And I flew out my co-producer Eric for that show.
Okay.
He's from Chicago originally, and I was like, "Oh, I have no experience producing." I saw that he produces all the time in LA, so I was like, I'm gonna hit him up. And then he was like, "Fuck yeah, Zanies, dude."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "Is it that big? I don't know."
How long have you been doing comedy yourself?
This is my 10th year.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm on year 10.
And you started out because I believe you're from LA, right? And that's where you started.
Yep.
What was the name of the club that you did your first?
The Comedy Store.
Mitzi Shore's Comedy Store, the one and only.
In the main room.
In the what?
I know everybody. You're like, what the fuck?
Like, was it on a dare? You just showed up one day, you popped off. It was an open mic, or
no. So what happened was I started as an actor, and then like I took this acting class, and they showed me how to like self-submit on these casting networks and stuff.
Okay.
And then I saw one that was like inexperienced comedians. You know, they're trying to cast us or whatever. It was a bringer show, so I mean. Yeah. I had to bring people to perform. I didn't know that was a requirement. They were like, we're going to help you write a set. They did not. And like they didn't explain anything where it was or anything until like I think a day or two before. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm going at the Comedy Store. Like,
wow, right.
Wow. And then I didn't know it was the main room until I got there. And I was like, oh, I'm in the main room. Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
And I wasn't 21 yet, so I was 20.
Yeah.
And I rolled in on a pink Razor scooter. Okay.
It's just all the
it's the craziest
all the melodrama in the world.
Shut up. It's the craziest shit. Yeah, because in LA, you know, you have to park far normally. So I was like, I'm not a walking kind of girl.
Sure.
So I took a Razor scooter and I parked on top of the hill, the Hollywood Hills.
You play like you're a city girl, but when I think of LA comics pulling up in a pink Razor scooter. Like the flower basket in your and your little dog on the front.
I might as well have had that, honestly, because of the pink Razor scooter, I was in the green room, right, and I had my scooter on their table.
Oh,
it was like a mirrored table in the back.
Thank you for painting this picture for me.
I had my Razor scooter on there. Someone that was working at the club was like, you know, walking around checking everybody, and then he goes, "Wait a minute. Pink Razor scooter, how old are you?" And I was like, I'm on the show.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, but how old are you? And I was like, 20. And he's like, yeah, let me see your ID. Because back then I looked even younger.
Yeah.
So he's like, he saw my ID and was like, you're not even 21. You can't be in here. I was like, what? So they made me wait right outside the door until they called my name. And it was so embarrassing just having like a pink Razor scooter. And I think I was wearing some silly looking print jacket or something.
Sure.
Oh, God. Yeah, it was.
The good old LA days.
It was so weird. And then all the comics, they were super nice though. They were like, "It's your first time doing stand-up?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They had me waiting out here. And then everyone's like, "You want to drink? You want to smoke?" And I was like, all right, yeah.
That's exactly how LA does it in my mind.
Yeah. So
just get you hooked right away.
Yeah, it was fun. It was I mean, I can't remember all that I said completely, but
it was a packed house?
No, there was maybe only like 30 to 40 people.
That's a hell of an origin story though.
Yeah, right?
That's like legendary.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, shit.
And just hooked right away from there.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, I've always been funny, like in school, like ever since I could remember. So
right.
I was always a class clown.
Like class clown and did your work, or class clown you were a problem?
I was a problem. I was definitely a problem.
Yeah.
Like one time, my first grade teacher, I was such a problem that my first grade teacher, she was like this older Filipino lady.
Yeah.
And she grabbed me by the head, because I don't even know what I said, but she grabbed me by the head and just started like shaking me and was like, "Tanga, tanga, tanga." And then I was laughing the entire time because I understood what she said in Tagalog, right?
Yeah.
She said, "Stupid, stupid, stupid." And I was just like, "You're stupid because I can understand you."
Yeah.
And so.
And she got away with that?
Hell no. She got fired. But I was like, "That's not the Philippines anymore, lady."
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I told my mom on her and was just like, yeah.
And then it all went down from there.
Yeah, and I don't remember seeing her after that. So
I've gotten into a kerfuffle with the teacher or two for sure.
Yeah. See, I think that's just comedians.
Yeah, definitely. Like the ones that have like a good going through school. I'm like, how do you do that? Like, I was a straight A. I just decided to do comedy one day. Like, no, you have to have like a.
You got to be a little bit of a badass.
Yeah.
I feel like comedians are like rock stars that can't do music.
Yeah. Every time I got kicked out of class, it's a badge of honor.
Yeah, like,
for sure.
That's right.
Not recommending that.
Oh
do
my
well
gosh.
in school, kids, for sure.
If you can. Or become a comedian.
If you're gonna
kidding, it's hard.
really go for it in class.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then so you moved to Chicago, and then where did you start picking up your comedy coming out here? Do you remember the first stage you hit when you came out here?
Which one was it? I know I did a mic. I might have done a mic at Lincoln Lodge.
I'm headed there after here.
Maybe that one, or where I met Jackie, actually, also. I don't know. I kind of just started hitting hella mics once
That's
I
what's
got
dope
here.
about Chicago is that you can pick up. There's gonna be 2, 3, 5 mics a day, no matter what day it is.
Yeah, and what's dope is you don't have to pay for your minutes.
Yeah.
That's LA.
Ooh, for real?
Yeah, you gotta pay like $5, and they'll give you like 3 minutes.
So a lot of the comics that we know on the scene, right? They're like, all right, I'm gonna get my comedy engine warmed up and going while I'm out here in Chicago, and then I'm going to New York. I'm going to LA, right? Your advice, someone that's coming from LA, your advice to comics before they go out to LA with just big dreams. Just piss all over them. I don't know what it really is.
It doesn't matter. It does not fucking matter. You could be the top comic in Chicago. It doesn't matter in LA. Unless you have 1 million followers, you're not gonna get anywhere.
Wow. So
or
unless
you're sucking a dick.
Wow.
Unless you're sucking dick, bro.
Keeping it with the facts.
Men too, okay?
Wow.
Not just the women.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and that's probably universal at this point in time, right? With social media, if you don't already have a built-in reason for the big industry to give a shit about you, you might as well just go ahead and stick to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, right?
Yeah, unless you build your waterfalls.
I see that rainbow.
Yeah, I guess, that is kind of the industry, unfortunately, that we are in today. You do have to have a following, because everyone in LA and Hollywood, all they care about is like, how many people are you going to bring to the show? That's like in general, right? That's the whole reason you pursue comedy, is you build your following, build a fan base, and that you can get them out consistently. Then like it just keeps building in every city you go.
So this actually brings me to one of the first things I wanted to ask you. So like I said, you can't thank you and Jackie enough for putting me on a couple of few shows with you guys. And ever since I met you, you've just been a rock star. You've been cool as hell, right?
Oh, thanks.
And then from there, like, we follow each other on socials, pop up, we'll like each other's stuff. And I see you post a lot of your content on there, like everybody else does. They'll post like crowd works or like old bits or whatever, right? And I actually noticed, more so than a few other comics that I've seen, you'll end up getting some hate. Like you'll post and you'll post like something, and people will post like whatever, woo up the bam. They'll just start trolling, right?
Oh yeah.
And it happens. And my question is to you, one, I wonder where it comes from. And I'm involved enough, and I like you as a person enough, and like you as a comic enough, that I'll look into these people, and it's like it's a ghost account. Yeah. No followers. They made it like 3 days ago just to write some hateful trolling stuff, right?
Yeah.
Are you, and I think the higher you climb up, ultimately I would look at it as that's a bit of, to speak to your success, is that you're bothering somebody to the point, right?
That they had to say something
that
mean
they had
about
to say
it.
something regardless.
Yeah.
How are you compartmentalizing trolling? If you are you just ignoring it? Does it hit you somewhere, or do you have to do something to get past it?
That's a great question, and I'm glad that you also noticed that.
Yeah.
Because I've always wondered that. Like, I'm not new to the trolling game, so it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it will, and then I'll have to, my girlfriend will hear about it. I'm like, man, this bitch is calling me like, saying this and that, and then she's like, who cares? And I'm like, you're right. Who does care? You're right. And then I'll like let it go. But I've definitely noticed majority of my content that I've been in or have put out, like I randomly get a lot of trolls.
Right.
Which Honestly, I kind of understand because I myself am a bit of a troll. Like,
Okay.
like I be on the comment section sometimes saying stupid shit. And it's not to be mean. It's just to, like, I thought this was funny what I'm going to say. Like,
Yeah.
I think what the thing is, like, sarcasm is definitely not translated in
In
comments.
written texts?
Yeah.
No, of course
So,
not.
especially in comments, like, I have to hold back what I say because I'm very sarcastic in
Sure.
in comments. So, like, I don't know. I mean,
The written word is crazy because you'll say something in real life, right? But when it's getting read back by the defense attorney, you know what I mean? It's like, wow,
that was
that
fucked
sounds
up.
incredible.
Like what you said right there
When
was
you
really
say it
fucked
like
up. And you're like, oh, but
yeah,
I meant to
yeah.
say it like this.
No, yeah, no, it's like no. I said I hate I hate everybody that looks like them, but I said it like in a funny way.
Yeah. I guess you just had to hear it. But
You just had to be there.
yeah, no, yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit because I think I'd rather have haters than fans.
And nothing at all.
No,
right?
I mean, like my whole thing is haters talk faster than fans. So
Wow, I like that. That's a coin
So
phrase right there. And it's like to me, because if somebody says something nice on my timeline, then I do get like the vibe of like a good feeling. And if somebody says something negative, it's probably gonna ping the same way. But when it's somebody, so I've had my place like burglarized throughout my life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, you're like, some money's missing out of your wallet. You're like, it's somebody I know. Like, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
And for somebody to pop up on anybody else's page, when you get to a superstar status, of course, people are just gonna troll and randomly. You're not gonna know everybody if you have millions of followers, right? But at this point in the game, for myself anyway, I could speak like if somebody's trolling me and it's a ghosted account,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's
I
like
don't
it's
care.
got to be some douche like on the scene just
Oh.
doing it. You know what I mean?
That's funny. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about that because I don't check. Like I just kind of ignore it now.
Yeah.
Like if it's something hateful or mean, I won't even acknowledge or read it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's people that I know that are saying nice things, then I'll comment back
Sure.
and like it or something. But yeah, I don't really care for it anymore because, like I said,
I mean,
it just means you're doing something right.
Of course. And it's like that cyberbullying thing. I was talking about it previously on here. Is that a new aspect of the brain that's being affected by like the positive/negative things that are happening online and then your availability to see them nonstop constantly?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's like what is it, like psychology studies that directly link depression with social media right now
Sure, sure.
because I mean, we want that instant gratification all the time. That
Yeah.
sometimes even in real life when people are like, "You did great" or like, "You're amazing," that's not as gratifying to some people that like I need to post it and get like a certain amount of likes and views and like it's just it's strange. It's very like you definitely have to learn how to detach yourself from your phone and your social media because like what I'm trying to do now is just post and leave it.
Post and ghost?
Yeah, just post and leave. And I mean, I check my phone though, so like if I get a good notification, I'll be
Right.
but like I try not to linger too much on it or think about it too much. I just want to put out my content because in LA I was very like hesitant about
Okay.
posting anything, even pictures of me doing stand up. I didn't want to post and like I definitely fell into a very depressed hole in the beginning of like Facebook and like when I was first starting out and stuff.
Okay.
I don't know. It's easy to get depressed when you're not getting the attention you thought you were going to get on the internet.
Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I'll definitely post something, and then if I'm scrolling through and it's not getting what I think it's gonna get, and then I can see somebody else, and they post like them posting somebody else watching somebody else do something.
It's like super Inception.
Yeah. It's like the post of me watching somebody watch somebody do something, and then that gets like 1.2 thousand hit, and I'm like, what?
Oh yeah, half the shit on TikTok. I'm like, what? This?
Yeah. And I'm like, why? What else do I have to do?
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, it's with this whole cyber thing, they're getting it dialed in now. where I get lost in my phone.
Oh
I
yeah.
go on to do one thing, and then I'm just stuck in that loophole. And I try and I can feel the hours of my life ticking away, and I'm
Ooh.
just stuck on the scroll. Like, why can't I
Yeah, like TikTok.
pull away from
I'd be
it's
like that on
entrancing.
TikTok sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, speaking of, my phone just went off.
Couldn't put any of them on mute. I can't be away from it. I'm a slave to these things.
Yeah, and it's hard to unplug. That's why I like. That's one thing I miss about LA is like the nature, like
Mm,
how easily accessible like hiking is, and like
mm,
you know go getting lost in a mountain or like
okay.
you know. Uh, I miss that because then you don't get signal, so like
Right.
you kind of have to be off your phone, and it's just so like captivating that you're like, wow, I love nature.
Mm.
And then the minute you get in the parking lot, you're like,
The moment you get reception again.
yeah.
So you're first generation born and bred in America, and then your family's from the Philippines. Did you spend much time in the Philippines, visiting or living?
I've gone a couple times. I've maybe
Mm-hmm.
only gone like 3 times my whole life
Okay.
because the flights there are expensive.
Oh yeah.
I maybe only 2 times that I actually remember though, and one was recently as an adult in like 2016. That was
Mm.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everything is cheap in the Philippines. So like you feel like a rock star. You're like the minute you
I'm
land,
just.
you're like, I'm gonna get my nails done, I'm gonna get a haircut, I'm gonna go shopping, I'm gonna get a massage. And then the next day is when you really go on your vacation
Yeah.
and everything is so cheap.
Oh
Like
hell yeah.
food is like maybe like you could get a whole entire course meal for like $5-10. Like 5 stars.
Are you Are you speak Tagalog fluent?
I used to. I
And
used to
then
speak
started
it
fading away.
fluent, but now no one's speaking to me in Tagalog. So like, my accent is not as strong, but I can
Right.
still understand mostly. I can
Yeah.
I could still kind of understand. I want to get back into it just cuz like um I want to learn it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to relearn it fully so that way I could talk to other
And wait,
Filipinos.
your folks are speaking English when you're
Yeah.
growing up in the house?
My dad mostly spoke English. He speaks a different dialect of like the language
Okay.
because they're from a different like suburb. I don't know,
Mm,
suburb area,
okay.
whatever. They're from Ilocos, so that's completely different from Manila. So my mom's from Manila, and she'd speak Tagalog mostly when she was mad. So
That makes
that's
sense.
how I know. I was
That
like,
makes sense.
fucked up.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about Filipinos is, so palo means like spanking, like So she's like, "Do you want palo?" And I was like, "Why the fuck would I want it, lady?"
Why
You
why are you
know,
inviting me to an ass whooping?
I don't want
I'll
it. Like,
pass.
yeah, fucking hit me then.
It's just what is in the Filipino community, what is either specifically to your folks or to the community as a whole that you could speak to it, what is the view of America in the Philippines?
Oh, they love America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like opportunity, all that yim yam or consumerism or
Yeah. They just love America. They
Mm.
love white people.
Yeah, for sure. I
They're
get it.
like, anything with white people, we gotta do. If they
Yeah.
tell us to do something, we gotta do it.
Really?
Yeah, it's very, even in the Philippines, like all their celebrities,
Mhm.
they don't even look like their skin tone isn't their natural skin tone. They're bleaching their skin out there
Don't
because
say.
they want to look more white. They want to look more Western, like acceptable
Wow.
in the Western standard and stuff. So
Is
it's
the
sad.
inside interracial um dark s- dark
Yeah.
skin versus light skin thing, is that's prevalent
Oh yeah.
in the Philippines?
Yeah.
Or do you guys have like words for dark skin folks versus light skin folks? Like here
I'm not gonna
in
say
America,
it.
but
It's
yes.
a bad word
The
that
answer
you
is
know
yes.
too.
For sure.
Uh,
Yeah. Oh, so you guys just go straight for the straight for the big guns.
yeah.
Good to know it's universal.
Yeah. Well, I think
I'm
it's
actually
Spanish.
learning that
I
more
think
and
it's
more.
Spanish.
Yeah.
They say negrito.
Yeah.
So that's like it's because like Spain was in the Philippines for like 500 years or something
That's
like
what
that.
Yeah,
So they
right.
colonized the Philippines for a really long time. I think like maybe at least 200 years, something like I don't know Philippine history. But I'm the worst.
Yeah.
You know how like I don't know. I definitely have noticed like that's one reason why I want to learn Tagalog more is because like in my community it seems like if you're a Filipino American, if you don't even know how to speak Tagalog, you're not Filipino enough.
Okay.
And then you know kind of how like Africans and African Americans are kind of like they have that thing where they're like, oh, you're ungrateful for being born in America
There's
and
a
you don't know your
divide,
roots and shit. Like,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, like we're just not Filipino enough. And then you're like, you're too American, but at the same time, those Filipinos want to be American. So it's like confusing, you know? It's like, why can't we just come together? Like,
it feels like when Barack Obama was president, there was like the divide between Black Americans and Africans was like brought to the surface a little bit because everybody wanted to quote unquote claim him for their side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's honestly a weird. I'm not sure what it is, right? Because I mean, of course, you meet Africans and then you meet Black folks, and I feel connected to Black folks, and I feel a connection to Africans, but I don't feel as connected to an African. Like if they look at me, you know, I'm light skinned or whatever, and I just from Black folks, I get light skinned this and that, you know, nonstop all day. You know what I mean? But it's a weird divide. But yeah, so you're probably like the American girl when you go back to the Philippines or if you're in your community.
Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, even if I tried to speak Tagalog, they'll be like, "Oh, you sound so American."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Well, at least I'm fucking trying."
Yeah,
like I don't know what to tell you. And you know, they Filipinos are pretty conservative people, actually.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, they're very conservative. Because they were like everyone's like raised Catholic, you know.
Is it safe? Is it safe to say Manny Michael Jackson Pacquiao is the most important thing?
Yes. To happen? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao is like their treasured hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know much about it? Because he's political now, isn't he?
All I know is that I know a couple things about him. That like one, he never even finished high school. He didn't know how to read and write, but he taught himself.
So my question is, growing up in the quote conservative traditional Filipino household, like, do your parents know that you're dating a woman?
They do, yeah. They
how
do know.
did that happen? Or how did that work out? Was there a conversation with? Well, let me ask you just in general. Was
no, yeah, that's fine. It's not a secret that we're dating, but yeah.
Did you always did you grow up knowing that you were gay? Do you call it? There's so many options these days.
Yeah, you're like, I really don't want to offend
that
you
is
or
a
cancel
landmine.
you. That's how you look. You're like,
I was like,
can I ask this question?
Tiptoe.
I don't want to get canceled by the gays. You're like, I can't even say gay.
I know how a white guy in February feels. Like, is it all right for, like, you're colored, but do I pick a color or?
Yeah.
Was that wrong of me?
No, that's funny. No. Okay. What was the question?
So, like, did you have a date? Did you host a show in your parents' living room and be like,
God, no, I'm not that kind of. No, my parents are divorced. They've been separated ever since I was little.
Another piece of the comedy puzzle fits right in there.
Look at my traumas. That's why I'm so funny. I have so many hidden traumas in the back of my pocket.
Broken household, check.
Yeah, right? Mental health, check. That's what happens.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So my family, they've been divorced ever since I could remember. And
brothers and sisters?
I have one half brother from my dad's side, and we're like 14 years apart. So I like pretty much
14 years apart. Yeah. Half brother, 14 years apart myself.
No way.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it weird? You're just like, you're little.
he's so much younger.
He's literally like half my age.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
And I try and we bond over like movie quotes that we've been doing since I was babysitting him and whatnot. But other than that, I'm like, this kid he's a whole different, completely different generation.
Yeah. Well, my brother, he got kidnapped when he was 6. So you're like, what the fuck? We were trying to talk about one thing.
No, I'm listening.
I'm like, No, he's in the Philippines right now. So he's been living there the last like, oh my gosh, almost 10 years. Now that I think about it, almost 10 years. Yeah. Wow, that's a long time. Yeah. So we didn't really grow up together that he'll remember, right?
Okay.
But like, it's strange because I saw him again when he was 12. He came to LA when he was 12, and then it's just weird to see that like even though we didn't grow up together in like those from like 7 to 12, we're still so much alike.
Got you.
And it's so weird. He looks just like me too.
Got you.
Like we look like twins.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, wow, that's how I would look as a boy. That's crazy. This is how you would look as a girl.
And so the kidnappers thought he was you and was like, oh, all right, this is the big actress in LA.
It's his mom. His mom kidnapped him. She said, we're going to be in the Philippines for 6 months. It's been 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was a long time. But luckily with like technology, I get to like, it's easy to talk to him, like message and FaceTime.
Okay.
But boys are like, I don't want to FaceTime.
Yeah.
Why do you want to FaceTime me?
Yeah,
He's like a teenager now. I'm like,
we're wearing the same clothes for the last 3 days playing video games. Why do you want to see my face?
Yeah, he's actually doing really well in video games. Actually, he's like top 500 players in the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
That's a whole thing now.
You can make money doing that.
Isn't there
Keep
a
doing
college
it.
out here where that like video games is like a legit class and you can get scholarships and all the other whatnot?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, but it's dope.
Okay.
I was like, damn, if only I had these opportunities growing up.
So popping up with your girlfriend, that was just a day that you were just like, here's what it is, or was there like a conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of just like, hey, this is my girlfriend. I think I took her to, it was supposed to be my grandpa's birthday party, but he didn't show up. So it was like my whole family partying without my grandpa.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, this is my girlfriend. And then everyone didn't even think about it. They were like, yeah, she's gay.
Wow.
Like I didn't have to be like girlfriend. Like, this your girlfriend? Like,
yeah.
Like a friend girl, or this your girlfriend? It was fun. It was, I mean, the thing is, like, my mom was actually gay too. So
wow.
She was gay when I was growing up. So I think that's where maybe it stemmed from. Because I was like, you're a boy?
So was it, was it one of those things with your mom, like she tried to force being in a standard relationship for the sake of the culture, like it coming from a conservative culture? She was like, all right, let me try and do the man-woman thing and pop out some kids type.
No, she just got pregnant. She just got pregnant with me. It's like, surprise!
I'm here.
Yay!
I was the one that made it. I won the race.
Yeah, right. My dad's genetics. No, yeah, I think she just had gotten pregnant, and then after their divorce, I think she just started dating these they're like the girls that look like guys, like the tomboys.
Okay.
And then I didn't know they were tomboys, and like I was getting bullied about it. They were like, people were like, your mom's lesbian, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that means.
This was in school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are ruthless.
How was that process? Because you're everybody's younger than me. So did you have like cell phones, and were you in school during the cell phone period?
No, that came in end of middle school, probably.
In the middle school? All right. So that bullying process, how were you dealing with that at the time? Were you just taking it on the chin? Is bullying important?
I think it builds character and trauma. So if you want to be if you want to be a comedian, definitely get bullied. It makes you funnier because you got to come up with clapbacks and
definitely.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
is it a necessary evil, bullying?
I feel like you can't have all good things. That's one thing I've been like pondering. Like, if people could be happy all the time, what would that look like? You know,
that scares me.
It's weird.
The idea, like religiously, of like paradise, like a word, like happy all the time. Are you allowed to cuss or no? Like millions of years, just happy.
Yeah.
Happy?
Just doing whatever you want, happy.
Like my cloud's never gonna run out of gas, and I'm gonna get mad.
I could travel wherever I want, not worry about
Instantly.
money. Like what?
Like, ooh, that's kind of scary,
Isn't
like,
it?
And I know, depending on what you believe or how you feel, and I can't pinpoint anything for myself, but like if you do transcend and there's a whole different vibe, it's like I kind of like bad feelings sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel human for sure.
It does.
Because you're like, oh, yeah, this is the experience.
Definitely. Man.
I don't mean to bring my depression out on this pod.
No, that's the only thing this podcast is for.
Oh, yeah.
Depressed personalities. My idea is to bring down the happiness of everybody that gets involved with it.
Oh, good. I'm in the right in the right place.
And then we were talking about it before, so I really didn't have a choice. My mom was black when she had me, and she still is, right? And you chose to be with a black woman.
Yeah. I did. Yeah, I did.
How did that work out? You didn't like fish her out. You weren't specifically going out on like blackplanet.com like let me find. No,
I didn't even know she was black at first. I thought she was like she looked like Puerto Rican mixed or mixed with something, and I was like, either way, she's beautiful. So
sure,
I was like, yo, she's pretty.
How is that? Was there like cultural adjustments that came with the relationship? Things you took for granted? Did you find out new things about black folks? Like, what is that pink lotion doing in the bathroom?
Pink lotion.
You haven't gone there?
We don't have the pink
What is this?
lotion.
What is this hot comb on the stove for?
Oh gosh, no, not. No, I mean, there's definitely. I feel like if anything, there were more similarities I found between our childhoods. So that's why I was like, yo, like. I really want to, bring Filipinos and like the black community together because I'm like, we're so much alike, like there's just a lot of things that seemed similar. Just in Filipino culture, they did it in Tagalog.
Yeah,
I
grew up a military kid, so I grew up, all over a lot of different places, and I went to high school in mainland Japan, and we had a significant Filipino culture out there, and ended up making a lot of friends. I love like pancit, bulgogi, all those fancy foods that are delicious. And then I moved out here. One of my last jobs, one of my good buddies, shout out Emerson. He sold me my first pistol, and in Chicago, nice little Smith & Wesson action.
Oh.
But he's a beast. I mean, I love the culture in general, and it's dope. And then I find myself right now, I'm in an interracial relationship, right? And she's not even American herself, so it's like on top of just looks wise, just on the surface, we're different, but then even culturally from America to where she's from is different, right? And I think we both find that racism is almost the glue that holds us together.
Oh my God. That's funny. But it's like fucked up funny.
Yeah. To an extent. We're like, there goes your people.
Yeah, there they are again. That's funny.
Up for sure. But I don't know. It's a shame that more people don't get to share in other things, especially in the city that we're in. We were talking about it before. This is just a city of neighborhoods, and everybody kind of minds their business in their own neighborhoods, and then come out and mingle in between. But with comics in general, I feel like we get to, because we have to try and find commonalities with everything, and then point the finger and laugh at it, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't really know. I'm still trying to figure out comedy myself.
Yeah.
Like, you're 10, Jesus, I still don't got it. I'm just kidding.
Nah, I mean, you're doing so much. Do you prefer performing over producing, or?
It's a good question. I definitely prefer performing. I don't really like to host. I feel like I'm a horrible host because there's too much going on for me to remember announcements and like vibe checks or like But it is a skill that you still need to learn. So
what's a nightmare situation that comes with hosting? Just dealing with all these ridiculous comic personalities.
No, I'd say like dealing with hecklers probably, like how to really like get them to shut up. if they are being disruptive, or I don't know.
Sure.
I kind of feel like if you just chill, I don't like being. I think because I'm not a high energy comic, right?
Got
Like
you.
I'm not like yelling.
Right. Yeah.
I'm very chill when I'm up there and I'm
Yeah, for
talking.
sure.
I'm just like I've been smoking since I was 14, so I feel like I'm permanently stoned. That's like my neutral ground.
Wouldn't have pictured that.
Yeah. Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah.
That's cool. It's cool to know.
High functioning stoner.
I'm not. Well, I don't smoke anymore. But
How'd that happen?
I feel like just LA in general was it was a little too much. I stopped when I was like 24. Really.
Okay.
Like smoking every day type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take an edible now and then, but like.
yeah.
The weed is just too strong nowadays.
It's a wrap after
like,
that. Yeah.
oh god, like I don't really like the feeling of being like, what the fuck's going on?
The feeling I don't like is what I think are $1 billion ideas that I have that'll never leave my mind or my mouth or get written down on a piece of paper, and I'm just like, oh, that's phenomenal.
That was so yeah.
Bananas without the peel on them. That's gonna be. I'm gonna make so much money.
I'm gonna go to Jewel with this brilliant idea. Hey guys, have you thought of bananas
without the peel? And then I eat 5 handfuls of dry cereal, and I completely forget.
Yeah,
my genius idea.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Are you stuck in Chicago? You gonna be out here for a while? Are you thinking about making that leap back to California or visiting somewhere else?
I would like to be Chicago based for sure. Like, depending where the future heads, like I would like to split my time. Personally, I would love to split my time between London and Chicago.
London.
Yeah.
How did that pop up on the radar?
Well, my girlfriend loves London.
You guys have been out there?
No, we haven't yet. We want to, but like we watch a lot of like TV shows from London, and it just seems kind of like the Chicago of Europe.
Okay.
Because everything's
you just watch
accessible.
Doctor Who all day, and you're like, you know what? I think we can make it.
I watch Killing Eve. Okay, it's a BBC show.
Yeah.
About an assassin.
Yeah.
A female assassin. It's really cool, actually. It's really good. Jodie Comer does a good job. Oh God.
Yeah.
What was he saying? He's like, get out of here already. Oh.
Yeah,
you watched it? Yeah, it's a great show, isn't it?
You wouldn't know. Yeah, don't stereotype Big Joe. He has eclectic taste.
I love it. It's the last season, and I'm sad because it was so good. And like, okay, in the lesbian community, everyone's like, they just need a fuck. He's like, yeah, they do. You got to watch it. It's really good.
That's
The way it's shot and like the cinematography of it, the like tension of the show.
Sure,
it's really good.
I'm only 4 episodes into Euphoria right now.
Oh God, that show's good too. I wish I came up with that one.
So I'm
that's very LA.
That you know what? When you say it like that, it feels like
it. So that show is what I feel like my life was.
Wow.
in my teenage years, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, they like encapsulated.
Were you into other things than just like weed and alcohol?
Yeah.
The good old days.
Okay, yeah. I did a lot of ecstasy in high school. So
do you remember your first time?
Yeah, I was at a house party, like one of my friends' house, and it wasn't really a house party. It was just like a kickback.
Sure.
And I was
that's what I loved about LA is you could just roll up on a Momo.
Like I think her parents were even in the house.
Well, of course they were.
And I was just rolling balls. I was the only one rolling. Like, oh, this feels so good.
Yeah.
I was like rub my hair. Put your fingers in my hair.
What texture is this denim?
I'm like, wow, everything feels amazing.
Somebody offered it, or you already had it, or.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I kind of want to try it, and it was like my friend's older brother was like, I have some from Coachella, and then he's like, here, try it. Then I was like, okay, so he gave me one for free, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'm gonna try it now.
Yeah,
and then ever since then, I was like, let's do more.
Yeah,
because teenage brain.
Sure. Did it ever develop into like a problem, or were you just having a good time with it? You would say.
I'd say I was just having a good time with it. I mean, like, the thing is, when I feel like people don't really know when they have a problem, right? Like, it kind of just keeps happening.
Right.
I wouldn't say I was.
I think when it happens at like 3 p.m. on a Tuesday, it's considered a problem. If it's Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's a fun time.
I will say I didn't do it every day, but I did do it occasionally.
Yeah.
And then the older I got, like now that I'm like, oh, I'm 21, I could go out to the clubs in LA by myself. Like I'm an adult, and then I would take sometimes, you know.
Did it ever get hairy? Like, did it ever put you in like a scary position?
Probably. Do I remember? Maybe not, but
right.
Traumas. It's me blocking traumas. No, so like in high school, I had this thing. So I started this thing. I was like, I'm gonna call it the Jack E tree. And
where you're going.
So it was like I was kind of the bad influence with my friends. So I was like, hey, you know, if you try ecstasy with me and it's your first time, I'll give you the pill for free. I'm gonna take care of you, you know, make sure you're okay the whole night.
That's what you do with an open mic. It was open mic ecstasy.
And then I was like, and if anyone tries it with you for the first time, it's free for them and just carry on the tradition.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know why the fuck I made it like a family tree.
You were the
tree.
Typhoid Mary of opiates.
I guess. I don't know that reference, but is it bad?
Depending on how you look at it, Typhoid Mary was like, I think it was the plague, like the Agent Zero, like the first one to have it and give it to everybody.
Yeah, that was me then. In high school, I was like, yeah, let's go to this house party. Take this ecstasy, bitch. You're going to have fun. I'm going to rub your scalp.
There's somebody living under a viaduct right now checking your Instagram feed like, that's the one. She started
Oh, God.
it.
Yeah, all my Facebook friends are going to be like, that's where my trauma started.
That's the troll. That's your troll.
Yeah, maybe.
Tripping balls.
Oh, that's probably why. got the secret haters that they realized later, like, this bitch ruined my life. I'm going to ruin her life on the comments.
I'm going to ruin her day for ruining my life.
Yeah, like, oh, shit, I didn't know I ruined your life. I was just, you know, running away from my shit.
Oh, my gosh.
You know? Well, but yeah, that was fun times. I remember I was rolling balls at prom. I went to prom. I took a pill on the limo ride to prom.
Yeah.
And then right when I got to prom and stepped outside, that's when it hit me. And then like all the teachers were like lined up in a row on the entrance, like, hey, kids. And I was like, oh. I was like,
you were just rubbing on their name tags on their chest.
I was like, hey, mister. I'm like so glad I had sunglasses on though.
Yeah.
I mean, duh, you gotta have your sunglasses on.
Sure.
Can't have everybody looking in your eyes like, oh.
California just, I mean, just the aesthetics of it, whenever you see it on like TV or whatever, it's like, oh, that looks so awesome growing up out there and whatnot.
Yeah, but then I came to the Midwest and realized this is not normal, you know? Like,
well, is it the paradisey vibes of the sunshine nonstop? Incredible weed and everybody's done up like they're about to break big the next day.
Yeah, it is kind of like that, I guess. Everyone's like, oh, I could get discovered.
Yeah.
It's like, no, but you won't.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't realize that, like, you know, doing drugs at a young age is, like, not normal. Because it's so normal in LA that it was like cool to do. And then, like, when I tell stories about, like, when doing drugs out here, like in Chicago, like, you know, a lot of the people are like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe not.
I think you have such a like a young face, like an innocence to you that it's like when you hear like, yeah, fuck yeah, I was tripping balls. I was on, I pitched a perfect game on LSD. It's like, what, really?
They're like,
Dr. Jackie?
Why do you think I was a doctor for a little bit?
You were running. Who was that African kid that was running around in the white coat and like the stethoscope, pretending to be? You were. Yeah. I love the idea of you actually walking into an emergency room, just tripping, tripping on mushrooms. His EKGs are normal.
Hey guys,
get him in the OR immediately. Stat.
No, I mean, I also developed that persona as Dr. Jackie Linn because, like, every party I would go to, I would have, like, drugs. I would just have all sorts of medicine that I would prescribe.
Do you realize not even 90 minutes ago, I saw you as one person?
Oh God, everyone that great.
Now you're a different person in the best way possible.
Oops.
In the best way possible.
Everyone that watches this now is gonna be like, wow. Dr. Jack, don't fuck with that bitch.
Wait, does it? No, you're actually gonna get flooded for people trying to get illicit drugs all the time.
I know, but I'm sober now. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Like I'm drinking fucking yerba mate. Okay?
We welcome you to be a sponsor.
I'm fucking retired.
Yeah,
yerba mate. I don't know how to say it. Guayaki.
What's probably the most interesting drug you've done outside of ecstasy?
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
I love mushrooms. Yeah.
Did you?
The best is when you mix mushrooms and ecstasy.
Of course.
It's the best. I like it. I like mushrooms more than acid, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because like, I like that mushrooms is more. This is weird, but mushrooms. So like, literally, you're poisoning yourself, so your body thinks you're dying. So when you take mushrooms, when you get all that like trippy visuals and like you feel your body like the body high of it is like, this is what it's like to die.
Wow.
It's not that bad.
Wow. It's just
kidding.
pumping you full of the feel goods because it's all coming to an end.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I think mushrooms is more organic, right? Like acid is actually made, like they make that shit, and mushrooms is like it does make you feel more connected to like the ground and earth and stuff. Like I could have sworn. Okay, I went on a hike once on mushrooms, and I saw a tree breathing. Okay,
okay.
That's how like grounded you feel to nature. That's why everyone always says like take mushrooms in nature. And like I've seen the most beautiful sunset on mushrooms.
Right.
Like it was the craziest thing. It looked like a dome.
Okay.
So I was out in this open field. It was completely like mountains around, kind of like how like the Lion King looks with like the straw weeds and stuff, and then it was just like right at golden hour where it's turning purple, it's turning pink,
right,
and like
right.
360 view of the entire like open sky.
Like a butterfly laying on your finger.
No. There was it looked like a dome, and it kind of looked like there was a grid across the sky, like a grid, like squares.
Okay.
And then there was like a flashing like thing of rainbow going like this over the dome, over the grid, and I was like, we're in a simulation. I was like, this is fucking fake. And have you read Hunger Games?
I haven't.
Well, in Hunger Games, they kind of described it like that, like in the actual game arena. Okay. That's how the sky looked. And I was like, yo,
we're in the game.
We're in Hunger Games. And I was kind of tripping out about it, but at the same time, it was just so beautiful, though.
I want to say I heard somewhere that's like one of the things that did it for like Steve Jobs. Like he just started tripping balls back in like college, and then he was like, well, you could touch the screen and pinch your fingers and the map gets smaller. And then, all of a sudden he starts working on it. Did it change anything about how you continued on with your life after? In general, maybe not specifically mushrooms, but just that crossing over, putting those stimulants.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, I feel like everybody clowns LA about this, but we really are into that like woo shit. Like, you gotta manifest your reality type of shit.
Right.
And like, I do believe that. Like whatever you're thinking, you attract. So if you're always thinking about bad things, then you're always going to attract bad things, right? So like, yeah, I mean, I feel like it just opens you to really figuring out what you want out of life and how you're going to attract that. I mean, obviously you still have to do the work to get the shit, but like, I don't know. I've learn to be more positive about everything. And like instead of being so like down and depressed about things, I just try to really think of things that I'm grateful for and things of like what I'm grateful to receive in the future. And like really remind yourself that you are worth it, because it's so easy with social media, and especially social media right now, to be like, oh, I don't deserve this, like this person's funnier than me, this person is like, has more views or more followers than me. But like, no one is you, right?
For sure. Is there, do you When you're manifesting like your goals, the things you want out of life and whatnot, are you writing these things down? Do you have like vision boards? Are you having like talks to yourself, meditations, or?
I used to do vision boards.
Mm,
I've done a couple. I feel like more so now I kind of just really envision it in your
mm,
brain.
mm.
Like or kind of just act like you're already there.
Oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
Yeah.
Like if say like I want to be a fucking millionaire, I'm acting like I'm already a millionaire,
Sure.
even though my bank account don't say that. But
Sure, sure. Sure.
not yet.
Yeah, yeah,
Not
right.
yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. It's
Yeah.
coming. But you kind of just have to act like you're already who you want to be.
Yeah.
Because like, think about it, like 5 years from now, that person is actually going to be you if you're working towards that.
Of course.
So just act like you're there already.
Speaking of 5 years, so you're going on your relationship 5.5 years.
Yeah.
Keys, and we were talking about it a little bit before the show got rolling. The keys to a healthy relationship. What keeps it going for you guys, in your opinion?
Definitely compromise. Because with women, you definitely have to compromise.
So 2 bathrooms in the house.
I wish. Not yet. But definitely we will. I'm like, you have your own sink, okay? We're going to have 2 toilets.
We'll
2
share
bathtubs.
the bidet.
One center bathtub. And then I definitely think compromise is one of them. And not just
And when you're talking about compromise, you're like, hey, I want to do this at that time, and maybe it's not working for some. You're saying, all right, I'll give up my personal time on this to be a part of what you want to do.
Yeah, pretty much. And like, I think to come to an agreement, to stay on the same page on things, because you do have to move as a unit, So if you're not moving and doing things as a unit, then like, that sends different signals to other people and stuff. Like, I don't know how to explain it, I guess. Like,
no, that makes sense.
You have to always make sure you're on the same page when it comes to anything. It comes to your emotions, finances, especially like finances is something I feel like breaks up a lot of couples.
Sure.
And
so was it like, hey, we're dating for this long. All right, we've been together for this long. Now we're gonna like move in together. Now we're gonna blend our finances.
I U-hauled that shit for real. I was like typical lesbian.
Yeah, you
I was
Bogart.
like, we've been dating for a couple months. I think we should just move in together. I mean, actually, things happened. Like the timing of things happened very easily with us.
Okay.
Because we were spending a lot of time. We were spending every day together, and then one of her friends had a room open up, and we're like, well, why the fuck would we pay 2 separate rooms? We might as well. I mean, we're together every day.
Right.
Let's just try it out. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, we're on year 2. Oh, we're on year 3.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, we're on year 4.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's coming up to 6.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's easy when you're with like your best friend.
Okay.
So
when you're sharing, when something that you don't agree with, something that is like, ugh, how are you conveying negative things to your partner?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It does get tricky because with women, we get more emotional.
Have you dated men before?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I've dated a couple guys before her, and she's like my real adult like relationship, especially with a woman. Okay. She's like my first real relationship with a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And you always felt attracted to women from the beginning?
Yeah, I think I was growing up I was, but like I suppressed that a lot because of my mom being gay, and I was like, well, she's gay and she got made fun of. It's not acceptable. Like, so I would kind of suppress that that feeling and emotion of like, I don't know if this girl is like trying to be my friend, or I kind of like her, or like, do I want to be like her, or do I want to like kiss her? Like,
right.
Like, do I just want to be her friend?
But is there a difference between dating a man and a woman?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, what's the standout differences outside of the equipment?
That's funny. Okay, so I feel like when, as a woman dating a man, you feel it's like men just have a level of tolerance.
Mm.
You guys have a higher like level of tolerance to take like stupid shit from women.
Fair
You know,
enough. Fair enough.
where women are being stupid, like, oh, you don't love me because of this, and guys are like,
insightful.
Guys are like, yeah, you're just fucking tripping.
Sure.
But as a girl who's dating another girl who's doing that bullshit to me, I'm like, I'm a girl too.
I know these games.
So I'm like,
I'm a black belt in this.
I'm like, well, maybe you don't like me like that.
Yeah.
And then it just bicker. It's like, I think men know how to take, how to let things go easier. Where women, we're naturally like want to hold on to things and, well, let me bring up my receipt, you know? And you're like, oh, that was like how many months ago? There was different people.
No, it's definitely a 3-month simmer period.
Yeah, so I think that probably is like the main thing, because like with women, you kind of have to like distinguish which arguments you're gonna let go, and which ones you're gonna keep going, like going in on each other at, you know. So it's more of a challenge, like a mental challenge with women, and I'm starting to adapt that like man mentality where you're like, okay, sure. But like my face and my tone doesn't hide that. Like men are good at that, where they're like, you're right, honey. Like that hurts, you know? Like maybe men just are better at letting go of their ego for that. Where they're like, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Well, just I mean, even in a standard relationship where if it's just a man and a woman, right? Just because it's a man and a woman doesn't necessarily mean man alpha, woman beta. I've definitely seen
it is not
a ton of relationships where it's woman is the alpha.
They're actually the alpha.
Yeah, for sure.
I think women actually run that relationship, but in public, it seems like the man is running that, but you know it's not.
Well, there's even a book. I forget the name of the author, but it's called Emotional Intelligence, and they actually came out with another one, Emotional Intelligence, like 2.0 or whatever, right? And in it, they just discuss, the difference between IQ and EQ, intellectual quotient or whatever it is,
emotional.
Right? Yeah, and then obviously women, I feel, are more dialed in emotionally, and
that's why they get hurt about every little thing.
About
everything.
Every little thing.
Like you didn't say I love you just now. But you know that I love you. Like why do I have to say it?
Like love you? Is that it? Oh, I forgot the I.
Yeah, it's just it's women are petty. That's what it is.
Wait, what?
Women are petty.
That's the name of your new podcast.
You guys figured that out, and that's why it's easy for you guys to just let it roll.
Is it that same? So in a woman and woman relationship, is that still like a pecking order that has to get figured out? Like who's going to be the alpha and who's going to be the beta, or is it just
Well, the thing is, we're both alphas.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
We definitely, I feel like we've talked about this.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about this. We're like, okay, certain situations, we have to figure out who's gonna like really lead. Yeah, who's gonna take the lead on certain things, and like, that's things that I think you're. I feel like I just blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No, but I think that is just a thing that's just gonna constantly be a thing you got to figure out in a woman and woman relationship, because it's one of you have to let one has to let go sometimes.
Is it have you guys just putting yourself into place, because after 5 years and some change, things just start to naturally fall into place? Like, are you guys just figuring out, hey, all right, you're good at X, Y, Z, I'm good at ABC or whatever?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like after that time, you definitely got a flow going in the relationship. So, yeah, I mean, so far so good.
Sure. It's something that I'm curious of. You can tell me to just go kick rocks and flip flops, right? Romantically, yeah. After 5 years, does it keep flowing? Because even me in my relationship now, we're looking at it. If I'm being all the way honest, like the whole time I've been in Chicago, I haven't had a traditional relationship. That's 10 years, right? Until recently, now I'm in a relationship. And to be honest, again, this is the first relationship that I'm actually taking in my adult life. I'm taking it serious.
Wow.
I'm playing by all the rules and all that other good stuff, right?
Yeah.
And by the rules means just her.
Just monogamous. Just one.
Just the one cookie in the jar. And like looking forward to it, right? And at this point, it's not an issue, right? Like romantically, we're having lots of fun, still discovering stuff with each other. 5 years, right? Is there things you guys are doing to keep involved with each other, or is it just like, hey, no, we're having a good time, never needing any seasoning for this meal, like it's just it's what it is, or is there things that you guys are doing to keep involved? Is this too personal?
I don't know if I want to get that deep into it because, like, what if her family watches this?
Fair enough.
But yeah, no, we're good.
It's the communication is a big thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, communication's like the number one thing in any relationship.
Yeah.
Whether it be business, personal, like, friends, everything comes down to being honest with what you're feeling and how you feel.
It seems like there's a bigger push for like mental stability, mental health these days. It's a conversation that's like more prevalent out there,
right?
I think. And which is a good thing, I think, right? I mean, they got like apps, like you can call a counselor type thing, which I don't know how effective that really is. Like, I don't know how effective it is to lay down on a recliner with some person sitting behind you going, yes, go deeper. But I also don't know
think therapy's really like that, though.
Yeah?
I mean, I was doing, I had therapy. I got free therapy because California.
Yeah, thanks, California.
Thank you.
Thanks for half off taxes on everything that you make.
Is it? I don't know.
Isn't it?
I don't really know. I just know that I had free.
Is this another person
free
on my show
healthcare.
not paying taxes? This is.
Was there another one? Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, Mara.
I allegedly have not.
What's your What did you? Did it help? How did it help?
Yeah, I mean, I think it helps. It's really just like someone to be unbiased about anything you're saying. Really, that's what I've noticed so far. Is like I could say whatever the fuck I want, and she's they're just like,
Okay.
Or like, unless it's like something that it depends on your level of interest in the therapy. You know what I mean? So like if you want to know techniques of like, say I get bad depression, how do I get out of this? They'll give you techniques on how to like get out of your episodes or like anxieties and stuff,
Can you speak to any of those techniques?
One thing I know is like grounding, really just like really trying to stay present in the moment. So like looking at things and really like taking everything in, how you feel, like actual touch, like
right.
What are you touching right now and how does that feel? And like
Interesting.
Really trying to ground yourself back into the moment, because I read somewhere that like anxiety comes from thinking of the future, depression comes from thinking of the past. So if you think, that's why the grounding thing is a good technique, because that means one or the other. You're either in the future or in the past right now, and you're not actually here
in the moment.
Yeah. So
it sounds like the key to any kind of depression or anxiety is just a handful of mushrooms.
Actually, yes. Also, microdose mushrooms if you can.
Yeah.
That was a real study that they've done with I think soldiers that had PTSD. So they microdosed mushrooms to see if that would help with like their PTSD, and it did. So, I mean, microdosing, you won't feel any of the actual effects, or like you won't be tripping balls, but like it's mentally rewiring your brain. That's what it is. It's because like, like our brains are like babies.
Fair.
Where they just absorb everything and anything. And like if you're not conscious or like you're not conscious of what you're feeding your subconscious, then that'll just come to light, Because your subconscious is really what drives everything.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
For sure. And you don't even know that it's running.
Your subconscious doesn't know what's real and what's not.
Interesting.
So if you're telling yourself like, oh, I'm a shitty person, then your brain is going to be like, I'm a shitty person.
Yeah, that's dangerous. Because, like we were saying earlier, anything that you're looking to manifest is going to be...
Yeah.
It's going to come to light.
It starts with you. It starts with how you treat yourself, and yeah.
I wonder if like that if they end up going deeper into that, if that would help like in places like we are now, Like,
yeah,
what's
the
going on out
government should
here?
just give us mushrooms.
Just hand it out, make it mandated. How do you
Fuck
feel
the
about
stimulus.
How do you
Just
feel?
kidding.
I think I have an idea what you might say, but how do you think about like drugs being decriminalized?
I definitely think certain drugs like mushrooms and acid probably, but like the
So
hard.
there's a list.
Yeah, obviously not like heroin and meth. Like God, that would ruin so many people's lives. But like things like mushrooms and acid, I feel like we're probably put higher on the list just because it does free your mind a little. You know, it makes you think outside of the box. And I mean, with the system, they want you to be in a box.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, they make you check all your boxes, right? You're like, what are you? I guess I'm Asian.
That's oof.
What are you? I guess I'm female.
I have a problem with those like tests and those compartmentalizing type things. I wonder too, because like with the designations that they have, even for the gay queer community with the LGBTQ, and then I think they're adding like more
Yeah, it's a little too many
on
letters by now. Yeah,
by now, right?
it's like we get it.
Does that designation mean not saying you're the the cheerleader for the community?
I'm definitely not.
Out of the two of us right now, you are considered the expert.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
Is that is that designation important? Is there?
I personally don't think so because that's your sexual preference. Like, I don't think everyone needs to know about what you do behind closed doors.
And it doesn't feel that important.
I don't think it. I mean, like, I would like to see more like accurate representation for lesbians because like most of the lesbian movies and TV shows are like really ugly girls. No offense. But I'm like, me and my girlfriend do not look like that.
Right,
Like,
right,
like
right.
we're actually like a hot femme couple. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to see a little bit more of that, which is why I love Killing Eve so much. I'm just like, they were so close.
Go to LA. Don't you see us? We're walking around. We're fabulous.
It's just so weird that it's so like accepted now too. That's what's something that like blows my mind because like growing up it was very like ooh like oh she's gay
Yeah.
and now it's like oh she's gay. That's
Yeah.
cool. It's like the cool thing to be now.
Mm.
It's just it's strange, but I don't think it's anyone's business to know. Like why would
Fair
you
enough.
want to be like yeah pussy only like
Fair enough.
I don't get what the deal is about proclaiming it to everyone.
I think there's definitely also a personality type, right? There's people who are pro whatever their agenda is. There's people that are super pro black. There's people that are super pro America, super pro.
That's true.
Again, whatever it is, and they want the world to know.
Super
this
pro
is what
water.
Oh, jeez.
Super pro yerba
Hydrate.
mate.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, and then there's some people who's like, I don't care. Just do what you do. Mind your business. Let me mind mine.
I'm that kind of person. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do as long as you're not doing bad to people.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting someone physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever. Like, just trying to be a good person. I don't care what you do.
We are in probably one of the funkiest businesses, showbiz on the planet, right?
Oh God, yeah.
But then again, I mean, that's probably any business that has access to a wide range of ages and people, right? Boy Scouts of America. Right?
Maybe, yeah.
Oof,
possibly. I mean, I don't know. It's just definitely strange.
Yeah.
That's a thing, and I feel like some people are trying to be. There was at one point people were trying to normalize pedophilia, and they're like, well, I identify as a 12-year-old.
I feel like
Like,
Roman Polanski just won an award.
He did, I think. I mean,
didn't he move out of the country for the simple fact of that?
Yeah, and he can't come back because of that.
And there was like a ton of people that just kept making music with R. Kelly. I mean, R. Kelly's cutting a mixtape in prison right now.
You're lying.
I've seen him
You're lying.
Singing.
That's a lie.
From jail. I feel like at least 2-3 times in the last week and a half.
That is so crazy.
It is.
Yeah, it's crazy that people are like that. I mean, yeah, I felt that when I was like early 20s, like partying and stuff, and people would come up to me and like in retrospect, when I was looking at my photos of when I was like 21, I was like, wow, I looked like I was like 15,
Sure.
14, you know?
Sure.
And I'm like, these old white guys would always hit on me. And I'm
Of
just like,
course. Where do you place the blame in some of those situations? So I think with R. Kelly in particular, I want to say he had a history of probably child abuse, and maybe there was an older woman in his life that was preying on him when he was younger. And I'm sure if you dial it back with any, who's that other?
I mean, Usher too, right? He was
Probably.
like, I had sex at like 14 or whatever.
Sure. And who was the guy? He was in the movie Seven. He was in Evil Bosses. He was I forget Buddy's name, but like he had a history of that's in their past. So when somebody has that history, which obviously in a younger person's brain, it's gonna augment your mind, how you see the world, and a lot of what you do in your adulthood is just a repeat of whatever's happened to you when you're younger. Like, do you?
Well,
You blame the person like, hey, you know what right and wrong is, but mind you,
No.
you had your innocence stolen, like, you know.
Yeah. No, I think I either read this or heard this from someone who like really likes psychology. But they said that the age you were when you were like first traumatized is the age you kind of stay at.
Wow. Fair enough.
You know? So like if he was traumatized at 12, then like his mentality is 12. Or like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, I kind of feel like that sometimes, like, you know.
You just keep reliving something that pivotal in your life over and over again.
I mean, sometimes, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to explain. I don't know. I don't have the answer to that, actually.
Yeah.
I will say I don't have, I mean, I will say, like I said, like people stay in that age of when they were traumatized. I do believe that, though. Because, like, I feel like I've always had this, like, childlike kind of view around the world. And it's kind of stayed that way. But, like, now that I'm getting like older and like doing therapy and stuff and like really diving deep into the past, I'm like, oh wow, like yeah, that was just because of traumas and trying to run away from traumas really and not knowing how to like deal with that. Like I did use drugs and you know to escape from how I was actually feeling.
Sure.
Because
was there a repression period that you went through because of any trauma that that had happened?
What do you mean? What's repression?
Like keeping it, like locking it away somewhere,
Oh,
not dealing with it mentally, maybe even forgetting about it completely.
yeah. I think I definitely blocked out a lot of shit. Like,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh, that's coming up. I mean, yeah, man. I don't know. It's definitely. I don't know. It's hard out here for a bitch.
Fair enough.
For women especially.
Yeah.
Cause yeah, I mean, I've been abused. You know, so like, it's not like I wanted that to happen, but it did.
For sure.
And then like you get a victim mentality of like, oh, if I wasn't there at that moment, or if I wasn't like, if only I wasn't there, or if I had gone somewhere else, or if my friend was there, or whatever, then you start blaming yourself for something a predator did. You know, that really fucked with my brain for like a long ass time because I was like, oh, I never thought that would happen to me. It did, and that was actually like one of my first experiences. So,
wow.
It, you know, that
was
guy.
it somebody like you knew? Was this a random occurrence?
Well, I mean, it's happened multiple times, which is unfortunate,
wow.
right? Like, it sucks that women are a little more prone to that kind of situation. Like, it's sad that like at least you've maybe been, you know, like abused at least once.
Fair enough.
You know, like sexually abused. Like, it's just sad. Which is why I think it's like cool that like nowadays everyone is so like open to having these like mental health conversations and bringing everything to light about like your feelings are valid and matter and like you have to address it or else, you know, I mean, the traumas might just keep happening because you're not addressing it. Or I don't know.
Is there a part where you get into a rhythm of it because it's something that happened? Do you start to normalize it and then I don't know, perhaps even seek it in a kind of an off way?
Seek what?
Like repeating the trauma that happened to you?
Oh, that's a good question. maybe that's a subconscious thing. Because again, if you're not addressing exactly what happened to you, right, then maybe it's bound to happen again because you didn't address it. So like
a more mature you now, traveling back in time to when this trauma was taking place, what advice would you be giving to yourself at that time?
I would probably just be like, be confident in saying no, and be confident in being by yourself, no matter what the situation is, because it's very easy to get lost in like group mentalities. If you're in a group, right, then you somehow you get separated or something. Just be aware of who you're with at all times. Like question everybody's motive, whether they're your friend or not, because it's usually the people closest to you that do something.
Sure.
So just be more aware, be comfortable with saying no, and be comfortable with being by yourself, especially sober. Sober is very hard to do.
Very hard.
At a party setting, at a festival, like it's hard. It's kind of weird that they make you feel like the weird one for being sober,
Sure, yeah.
But that's because they're actually feeling weird that they have to do all this to function.
Sure.
So.
And when you're younger, I mean, acceptance and just being in the vibe, being cool, whatever that means, it's hard to break out of that mentality too. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think with young kids, they're still figuring themselves out.
Sure.
So they don't know how to say no because they want to be accepted. They want to be heard. They want to be loved. They and teenagers especially will accept it in any way, any form.
And so, is there anything that you could say like, hey, watch out for this? These are the signs. Get up, break out. Like, this is when you see these things taking place. It's time to shake spots.
Ooh, yeah. I will say nothing good comes after midnight for sure.
Fair enough.
So make sure you're home at least by 11, because nothing good comes after midnight for sure. And if you feel uncomfortable and you feel that in your body, don't ignore it. Don't ignore that, because that's your body it's your intuition telling you to leave.
Wow.
Because like I felt that, but I ignored it, and I was just like, it's fine, and it was not fine. But just try to be more attuned with yourself, and be good to yourself, because you are the only one that's looking out for you at the end of the day. Like, why would your body feel bad about something if it wasn't bad?
Right. And then it feels like there's probably a fair amount of guilt, subconsciously or even consciously, that may come with that prevents you from sharing that with somebody. Is there like, hey, it's for you to go seek help? Maybe everybody's not comfortable talking to their parents about that, or even talking to a sibling about that, or talking. Is there, like, what advice would you give yourself to go seek like counsel, or just being able to get it out? Or you're writing it in a journal, and putting it in a diary, doing a vlog, or what?
Like after the traumas, or like,
or just to help process it while you're going through it. Or anything that could help immediately try and get you off that track. Because once you fall into like something slippery like that, it's easy to just stay in that dark place for a while.
It is. It's very easy. I feel like I didn't really have this in LA, but like finding a good support system. Like I've definitely, since moving to Chicago, I've gotten like an extreme amount of like love and support from people out here, and it shocks me, to be honest, because I didn't have that in LA at all.
Okay.
So now I'm like, wow, this is what it feels to have good people around. So just have good people around you.
Oh,
you know? And
we're definitely in the business of, I wouldn't necessarily call it good people, but interesting. You can find good amongst the people that we're around all the time.
Yeah. Cultivate your relationships, and,
Yeah, for sure.
You got to feel everybody out at the end of the day.
Oof. Yeah. That's a good and bad thing, but I enjoy it, though.
Yeah. I mean, for them, I don't know.
I think comics are probably the most extroverted introverts there are.
Yeah.
Because the only time you're going to be extroverted is that moment that the light comes on and somebody shoves a microphone in your face. And then after that, immediately it's clam up.
I kind of feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm a Cancer Leo, so I'm like right at the cusp. Like Cancer, I'm like, oh my God, you hurt my feelings. And then Leo, I'm like, rawr, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'll
it's
dominate you.
Yeah, so I feel like you've learned so much about me, my God.
Yeah.
Everybody watching this is going to be like, wow, there's so many layers. She's an onion.
She's like a Cadbury egg.
Yeah. Yeah, wow. A lot of deep shit came out of here.
A lot did. And we'll tell you what, before we get out, this was actually amazing. Like I told you, before you sat down, I thought you really had your shit together. And you were
you were a real doctor.
I thought you were an 8-year specialist, MD, and then come to find out.
Yeah, come to find out I'm a fraud.
Come to find out you're a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You run a part-time meth lab. Allegedly, she also always pays her taxes. But it has been a blast. Do me a favor, let the viewers know what you got going on in the city as far as shows. Get your socials out there and how they can find you. What you got going on out here?
Gosh, yeah. Okay. I'm actually going to be at Laugh Factory for the first time next Wednesday.
Say that then. All right, Laugh Factory, shout
verified. I'm also going to be on Fresh Faces on May 31st.
Fresh Faces, shout out Fresh Faces.
And, I run a show pretty much every other week at Holiday Club. Big Break Comedy. It's free comedy. It's free show every Thursday at 8. And I'm just
all right. How are they finding you online?
Shit. Oh yeah.
What's your IG?
All of my handles online are Dr. Jackie Linn. Fake doctor, but real laughter. I prescribe that. That's the whole joke, and I say it every time I'm on stage.
250 milligrams of ha ha.
Of ha ha. That's a good one. That's a good. I'm gonna use that. But yeah, so if you want to laugh, follow me on any platform. Dr. Jackie Linn. I'll be posting shit.
Hell yeah, she's dope. She posts all the time, and then also who else posts all the time is Real R.A.P Podcast. Please make sure you guys are like, sharing, subscribing. I've been your host, Mike Knight. Follow me on all the things at Mike Knight Comedy. This is Real R.A.P Podcast. I love you guys, man. We're out. Peace.
Mike, you straight from the south side. Mike, I'm just so happy to be here right now. Real R.A.P Podcast.